and welcome to this weekend's edition of Unplugged. My guest today is someone who's considered a genius. Why I say that? Well, he was a graduate from IIM Ahmedabad, of course, rank holder there. All India ranked second in chartered accountancy and also a cost accountant. All of this before he turned 23. Nirmal Jain, Chairman of IIFL. Nirmal, glad to have you on the show. Anything else that you wanted to do and you didn't do? I mean, so many academic ranks before 23. You were a bright student since your childhood?
Yeah, I think I was quite good in academics all the time, but I did much better in professional exams as compared to my school or college. But I've been consistently good performer academically.
Okay, you think that's helped you really a lot in terms of your overall career, and what was the motivation for succeeding as far as some of your academics is concerned?
So in academics, once you are good, you start getting good marks, and that itself becomes motivation for you. So. But still, I think that academic success is one part in the life. Success in life is pretty different. It helps, but I don't think that there's any direct correlation, or anybody who is successful academically, can say that, okay, I am more or less certain to succeed in life. It doesn't work like this. So as you get out of your college, then you get into another school, which is school of life, or where you learn by hard knocks. So I think they're pretty much different, and there are quite a few people who are as successful and a lot more successful than me, and they probably don't do so well academically. So there's no strong correlation between the two.
Okay, of course you have done well. Nirmal, earlier in the shows I've spoken to Madhu Kela and Ramdev Agarwal. Of course, three of you had worked together at Motilal Oswal, and what stands out is that all of you had humble beginnings. But all of you had dreamt big, and those dreams are now successful.
So three of us, we were together when in India reforms had just started. Indian economy was taking off. There was just about early 90s, when the 91s, those major reforms of Manmohan Singh and Narasimha Rao government had happened. So India was just about to take off. So maybe we were at the right place at the right time, because capital market was very small at the point in time, was taking off. So we are among those early sort of leaders or early players who got into this. Of course, we got together because we had some common characteristics. We were all had come from middle class, humble background. We all had wanted to work hard and succeed. So it's dint of enterprise and hard work, which was common amongst all of us. And India has been a great opportunity in the last 25 years. So maybe I think all the factors converge. And I'm very happy that everybody is successful in his own way.
Oh yes, Ramdev was with us just last week, and he told us what Nirmal has achieved in 14 years, they've achieved in 30 years. That's the kind of success that you've had, and that tells you a lot about the entrepreneurship ability of Nirmal Jain. But at what point did the entrepreneurship bug bite you?
No, I think so. Ramdev and Motilal, they're modest people, and they will always underplay their own achievements. But I think what they achieved in capital markets, and they have been, when actually I joined them, that time also it was, maybe not thinkable for a typical local broker to try and, get somebody who is well qualified, set up research, and Ramdev's dedication to research and portfolio management, that shows in his performance also. So I think all of us have been, it's very difficult to compare the quantum of success, but I think they've done extremely well, and I'm very happy that I learned the first early lessons of capital market from them. Both Ramdev and Motilal, they've been very good at that.
Okay, one thing which again stands out is that all of them, Ramdev, Motilal, of course, Madhu Kela, you had a lot of passion for equity research. Still do, right? Equity research still remains passionate work for you?
To be very honest, I am now equity research, I like it, but there are people who do it. Personally, I don't spend much time in equity research. I don't spend much time in really analyzing the stock where I started my career with. So, in IIFL as a business has become a lot more diverse. And as you know, the 70% of our business is lending. Almost 20-25% is wealth management, where equity is only a small part. So, I have actually drifted away from equity research a little bit. But yes, I love it because this is where, originally I started as an entrepreneur. And when we started, maybe Ramdev, Motilal, Madhusudan Kela, all of us, that time equity research was new in India. and whatever work you did was sort of original work. You know, you can really make a difference because there are not too many people doing it, and when you do and you discover something, it had value. From there, I think we have come a long way. Although high quality equity research still will have value and can still be helpful in creating a lot of wealth and on a much larger scale. But I mean, to be very candid, I have drifted away from equity research individually. As a firm, we invest and we have, I think, some of the best analysts and best team there.
Okay. You also had Rashesh Shah as your classmate, of course. And now, we have Edelweiss, which is also listed. Edelweiss, IIFL, Motilal Oswal, all of them have almost similar market cap. You guys have friendly rivalry. You guys talk often. You meet. I mean, what's the personal equation?
We meet, sometimes socially or sometimes, Rashesh is a classmate, so was a classmate in IIM Ahmedabad. I don't think there's, any of us, or at least I don't look at market cap of the other two and compare. More or less we started at a similar time. All of us started in early 90s. In fact, maybe Motilal started a little earlier, but in that time frame. So I think we have grown more or less at similar pace, if market cap is in the same range. So, and maybe, the promoter stake will also be different in companies, but this is not the comparison yardstick. It's just question of, I think everybody is happy in whatever we are doing, and market or opportunity is like an ocean, so there's enough for everybody. And not only it's not that we compete with one another, but there are a whole lot of, more competitors in the financial services field. So I don't think a rivalry, or at least all of us are good friends and we are well-wishers. I don't think anybody will do anything which is negative or, which is, it's not a zero-sum game, let me put it this way.
Okay, it's not a zero-sum game. Of course, the market is much bigger than that. I'll talk about the equity ownership in a bit because that's an important point, and that's part of my Unplugged conversation as well with you, Nirmal. But before that, just tell us a bit about your start. You were with Hindustan Unilever. By the way, a lot of people think that if you were still with Lever, maybe you would have been, near the CEO levels. maybe you would have been the CEO or something like that. But you met Venkat while you used to have Vada Pav near the Miti Bhai College. Is that story right?
Near Hindustan Lever office.
Near Hindustan Unilever office.
So,
yes.
Okay, I worked with Hindustan Lever for 5 years. I took that job from my campus placement in IIM Ahmedabad, and I think it's a great company to work with, and I learned a lot. So typically, people think that if you work with an MNC and you want to be an entrepreneur, they are connected things. But I think whatever I learned in Hindustan Lever stood in good stead, and particularly when you want to scale up your business, when you want to put systems and processes in place. So Hindustan Lever and Venkat used to work with ICICI.
Yes.
Those are old and ICICI Limited. The two buildings are across the street.
Okay.
In Bagway Reclamation. So after lunch or sometime when you don't like lunch or you want to have some variety,
yes.
you step out. Yes. And there was a Vada Pav stall outside SDFC building. So we met there, and both of us are from IIMs, and we became friends. We also had a common friend because Girish Kulkarni was my classmate. He used to work, and I think Venkat used to work with him. Those days when I think both of us are unmarried and we just, I used to meet more often, we became friends. But Venkat joined much later. So from ICICI, he moved on to GE and Barclays in between. I think he joined a few years later.
Okay, but he has equity stake in IIFL.
He has equity stake today, yes. Of course.
Okay. You have been very liberal with equity stake, giving it to your employees. I believe even your driver has, some ESOPs. You have an equity culture in your company. And your own stake, your own family stake is actually very low, just about 23-24%. You've distributed a lot of stake to your employees.
Right. So I think they have been part of wealth creation and part of the company. Of course, driver also has been there for many years, so he has ESOPs and he has some shares. So I always believed in this, that when you build an organization, it's not one individual. I mean, you can be, you can say there's one individual's vision, hard work or whatever, but I think there are many people put in hard work. The founder puts one, foundation stone, but then there are so many people who put, their sweat as well. So it's only fair that you share, and you share not only the responsibilities in the work, but also the wealth and success. And I think we believed in that, and that has also helped us a lot because we've been able to attract best of the people in the industry, even when as a brand we were not so large, primarily because we could offer equity and we were far more liberal and generous in sharing the ownership.
But, Nimesh was telling me that, he had a conversation with Anirudh Datta, who told us that, while you look very blunt, you know, you are on your face at times, but inside you are a very soft guy. Would that describe your personality well?
So I mean, Anuj Datta is a good friend and has worked with us for many years, and you know, so I would, you know, go by his judgment, and I would. It's very difficult for anybody to figure out how he is. You know, your perception can be always different from how the rest of the world perceive you. But you know, there's a fair description, I would say.
No, I tell you why. The example that was given was that when you went through bad times post the .com crash, you didn't have enough money to pay for your ad agency that ran your campaign. But once you got over those bad times, you paid the ad agency not only what you owed him, but much more than that.
Yeah, so more or less we have tried to make sure that in terms of values that we have, you know, which is fairness, integrity and transparency. So these are not compromised. When I used to work with levers, there was stone on which something was engraved, and that actually etched in my mind. And I don't remember the exact words, but what it meant was, you know, there's nothing as great as a business, however small, run with integrity. And there's nothing as mean as a business, however big, run without integrity. So I think that is what the guiding principle is. You know, business is a good enterprise, is always good from the society's point of view. It generates employment, it generates some new product, it fulfills some unfulfilled need of consumers. But of course, only when you do it with integrity and honesty. So I think that is something which is non-compromisable.
Okay, your current wealth right now is 1,300, 1,400 crore.
To be very honest, I have not computed.
Okay,
I don't bother about that.
Okay, you haven't looked at it. You haven't looked at your peak wealth as well. 2008, the stock price was 2,000 rupees, Nirmal.
So there are people who do that, but I think that it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So neither that. So I think when the stock market
your peak
price
wealth would have been
14,000,
15,000 crore in terms of stock worth. It's now 1,400 crore.
That was also exaggeration and was actually not real, and that's why it did not last for too long.
Okay. So do you think you became, you of course hired the top CLSA team right at the peak of that market. Do you think you got a bit too ambitious, or you think you're still convinced that was the right move?
No, that was a great thing to do actually, and so from our business which was primarily retail, we could expand. So we remained focused on financial services, but within financial services, other than bank, more or less, we got into all the segments, and wherever we got in, we got a good team and tried to be one of the leading players. So you don't want to be, me too kind of a thing, but you want to make a difference. So I think that was a fantastic decision, because the team, despite all the rumors that people keep hearing about and rumor mongers talking about, is more or less, the entire team is with us. And there's
and that rumor keeps coming.
It might happen at the peak of the bull market. The markets went down after that, but that makes no difference, because most, all the people are aligned from long-term point of view. And I think, that was to my, if I look back, that was one of the key tipping points that we had. And
all four of them have now in their own different verticals, right? I mean, Anirudh is running your app. And
so Anirudh is now looking at our digital strategy, and then Prabodh is CFO. Bharat is looking at our international business from Singapore. So, more or less all of them are there with us, the core team of 4 people, and then Prabodh who joined in later. And, what happened after that, the broking pie, and institutional broking in particular, that did not grow as much as we might have anticipated, or we might have thought at that point in time. But then investment banking piece came together, and these talent, that's very good. They basically moved, and they're helping with other key functions.